So for the lab 1 experiment, for the fiber analysis, I have all my materials out, which would be the cotton fiber samples, the polyester, rayon, silk, the unknown, wool, the 12 by 12, masking tape, the tweezers, butane lighter, and the hand lens. I already went ahead and I done my paper and done the observations of what the fabric looked like before it's been burnt, and I went ahead and taped down the 12 by 12 aluminum foil. I used the masking tape and I used the hand lens to observe them and used the camera, so I can go ahead and move on to step 2. So for step 2, it says to use the tweezers to remove a piece of cotton fiber from the bag. Adjust the fiber so it is in line with the tweezers while holding the tweezers with the cotton fiber in one hand. So adjust it so it is in line with the tweezers. So basically just like this here. So once it is in line with the tweezers, it says while holding the tweezers with cotton fiber in one hand, light the butane lighter with the other hand. So I'm going to light it just like that. And then it says slowly move the fiber toward the flame, but do not put it in the flame. So I'm going to take it and slowly move it toward it, but I actually caught the bottom of it. So I am going to move it out. See if I can turn the gas down. There we go. And I'm going to slowly move it over it. Catches the fire pretty quick. So once I have moved it from it, it says does it shrink away from the flame? Does it start to melt? Does it start to curl? For some reason this piece, it seems like it catches the fire pretty easy. I can actually try it again with the other end and see. Maybe I just happen to get a little too close to it. So let's see. It just catches the fire quick as possible. So once I have done that, it says turn off the lighter and record your observations of the fiber's behavior as it approaches the flame. So as it approaches the flame, it seems to burn very easily. And then it says light the lighter with your other hand and move the fiber toward the flame. And so I need to get another piece because that one burned on me. Okay, so I'm going to get another piece. And then it says, so for this one, light the lighter with your other hand and move the fiber toward the flame until it touches the flame. Observe its behavior in the flame. Does it burn with a glowing ember? Does the flame flicker or spark? So I'm going to, and so basically it burns with a glowing ember. I didn't see any sparks. And then it says record your observation. It says use the tweezer to pick up a cotton fiber from the bag, which would be the last piece. Okay, and then you are going to take it. I have a cotton fiber, and then it says light the lighter with your one hand, move the fiber into the flame, and then remove it. Observe the fiber's behavior as it is removed from the flame. So put it in the flame and then remove it. So it actually went out pretty quick compared to the other ones. So as it was removed from the flame, out quick. Then it says observe any odor that may be associated with it. I did not really smell any odor with the cotton, so no odor. And then for the residue, It says use, does it have any soft, does it have any residue? So I am going to look at the end of it. It looked like it burnt pretty straight, and as far as residue, there's really none there. Really no residue. Okay, and then it says repeat these steps for 5 through 15. So I have done the cotton fiber. I can place it over here to the side, and then the next one will be the wool. So I want to take the wool, remove it from the bag. Okay, once I have the wool, I'm going to take it and place it into the tweezers just like this. And then it says, so approaching the flame. And so as it approached the flame, it seemed to shrivel but not burn. And then it says if it did not burn, use the other hand. So I'm going to use the other hand and put it, light the fire and put it towards the flame until it touches the flame. So you want it to touch the flame. So even after it touched the flame, it did not actually burn or melt away. It still shriveled up. And then it says, get another piece. Okay. And it says remove it from the flame. So it says, so for the tweezers, why does it keep burning? So move it into the flame and then remove it. So after that, it still does not burn. It seemed to do the same thing whether it was approaching the flame, in the flame, or removed from the flame. It has a very strong odor, almost like burning plastic. And then it says for the residue, it's almost like ashes, somewhat black ash. Okay, so we can push these to the side, and we're going to move on. Once we're done with the wool, I'm going to move to the rayon. Okay. So I'm going to place the rayon in the tweezers, just like this. And I'm going to move the flame towards it, but not letting it touch. And it'll burn pretty easy. So, and it says I still have some left. I am going to pick it up and place it there. Put it directly in the flame and then take it out. So if you put it directly in the flame, it melts and then burns. It has somewhat of an odor, but not as strong as the wool. And then the residue, it's very clean, almost like smut. Okay, and then we will move on to the silk. So the silk fiber samples. So I'm going to place it right here, just like this. So it turned away. And then it says place it in the flame. So once it's placed in the flame and comes back out, it burns down and shrivels up somewhat into ashes. And it has, I'm not sure exactly what kind of smell that is. It smells like something I've smelled before, but I'm not sure. But mild odor. And the residue is almost like thin kind of makeup kind of. And then for the polyester, I'm going to place the polyester and the tweezers just like this. Burn very quickly all the way down, so without even barely even touching it, just the heat. Okay, so I'm going to have to get another piece of the polyester. And let's see, I'm going to do the opposite hand. Okay, put it right here. Put it in the far and take it out. So it melted completely down on the end. And it has a strong odor also. And the residue is almost the same as the silk. And then the last one we have is the unknown fiber sample, which will be right here. Unknown fiber sample. And with all the hairs, I am assuming it will burn pretty easily. So you can see the hairs that are the fiber sticking off burnt together. And then I'm going to place it, flip it around. I'm going to place it on the other side. Just like that. Okay. Put it into the fire and take it out. And it burned and melted down. And it smells almost like the wool. And the residue is, there's not that much residue left. And that will be it for the fiber analysis.